2 more buckets to go. It took me by surprise. I could have swore we were in the last buckets, but that's the way it goes. 2 more buckets. And then we'll do our amazing clean out. Hello, DJ Dan. How's it going? 2 more buckets to go. I know I said those were the last buckets, but I found 2 more. Just before the last end there. I guess your game panel under the stream is a bit outdated. Yeah, I gotta redo the game paneling and that. I'll put my computer specs on there as well and re-update what games I've been playing. I still do ETS2 with mods, not as much as I do with the company. When I do the company, it's mostly MP. But hopefully, probably when everyone gets reorganized again, we'll start running the company again, which is going to be Foxden Logistics under Truck Books. So if anyone here is an aspiring trucker that wants to join a company that's going to take the leaderboards by storm, we'll probably start that up in March maybe. And then what I'll do is I'll probably stream that and make some videos of that as well. Because I think right now I'm running a Scania S. Or if people are more into American Truck. But I know American Truck we were playing just because we were waiting for the DLC for ETS2 to come out. We don't have much. I don't think I need a flashlight now that the sun is out. We'll use the sun as our general flashlight right now.
Oh yeah, Alyssa, you buy that hammer. Oh man, Alyssa's buying all my...
Oh, so it's not it's not like Shopkeeper where one person comes in and buys one thing?
No, people are buying a shit ton of things.
Really? I think we'll have to get involved in this game. It's single player, of course, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got to update my channel a bit more. Probably spend a bit of time doing it. What's this?
Oh man, Alenia just bought a whole outfit. Amazing.
Oh, what game he playing? He is playing...
J.
Yeah. Sounds like it's good so far. Getting that little tingle on the back of my neck, kind of, maybe I should get this game. It's only $9. I'm waiting for Wolf to jump in the stream saying, "I'm not buying any more games." Anyone play Dinosaur Simulator? The Isle? Played it for a bit last night. I suck as a carnivore. As a herbivore, man, I could just like eat all day. I was playing as a raptor last night, and I was tracking down this Triceratops, and he got away from me because of the rain. But I have a feeling I probably could have taken him. We'll never know because my character died, and it was sad. He let out this final desperate grunt of "I'm dying," and then died, and I was like, well, time to go to bed. Oh, really? That's really good for your pump. Starting it? Oh, there we go. Does it give you a tutorial at the beginning?
Yeah, it says, "Do you want us to teach you how to play? It won't take long, I promise." And then it just barely shows you, and then it's like, "Okay, you're done."
So that luxury house renovation game isn't even released yet. No, it's not. It kind of reminds me of House Flipper, just like you're buying junky old houses, though. So we're definitely going to get to the clean out today. That's for sure. And hopefully we will get to... I'm going to call this like Fox's Diary of Horrible Decisions. That's what I should really call it. Instead of let's get the gold, I think I should call the videos Fox's Disasterly Decision Making. I have a goal, and I'm going to do the goal. And a very smart man named Zebra one day told me that I should play the entire season just based on the launch plant, and then redo the season with my tier 3. For the minimal requirements for that game, the OS is Windows XP. You can go around and find the stories. I found the stories in the factory, the magnetite, the blacksmith, the tribal village or whatever it is, Indian village. And then I found on the Broken Road and the Junkyard and Old Arnold. I was thinking of taking a trip to the sawmill to see if I could find those ones. Because the sawmill is just towards Nighthawk. And those will help you with prices of used parts as well as fuel. Goes down in price for the more story you find. So maybe after this cleanout we'll go melt some gold down and buy the rest of the parts, and we'll take a journey to the sawmill and see if we can find those pages there. Of course I'm going to use my trusty little guide to help me along so it doesn't take me all day to find them. Or maybe I might be able to find some of them without it. We'll try finding some of them without. And seeing... Oh, plus I found the ones on the train tracks as well. I guess you're kind of addicted to this game. Not so much addicted to this game as trying to become successful in this game. We'll call it trial and error. Have you seen my summer car? Yes, I have been told many a times if I enjoy doing this much work, I should play my summer car. I've watched a lot of playthrough my summer car. It doesn't really seem... I don't know. Maybe I have to play it first, but I haven't really been appealed to that game much. Like, I've watched a lot of playthroughs on it, so I'm kind of satisfied with it that way, but assembling an entire car just, it seems like a lot of work. But then again, you know, go figure, all this stuff I've cleaned out, that's a lot of work as well. So I can't really say I'm not looking forward to the hard work in that game, but maybe one day I'll play it. Driving is hard in that game. Well, I mean, I'm no stranger to driving. So you own 219 games on Steam. Holy. Yeah, I own a lot of games. Don't forget, though, a lot of those games were either purchased by me or I've won them on giveaways, or people that wanted to play games with me bought them for me. I tend to buy most of my games on my own, but if somebody wants to gift me a game, I have no problem with saying no to that. Alright, yeah, sure, I'll take it. Some games were hit or miss, like Zomboid, Project Zomboid. That was kind of a crap game. That was gifted to me. There's another game we were playing, which wasn't too bad. There's a cooking game that Griff bought us, and I had a lot of fun. I can't remember what it was called. Cooking something. Overcooked 2. That's a pretty fun game when you're playing with friends. In that game, you kind of generally get the idea of what it's like to be Gordon Ramsay, because you're just like, what the are you doing? All you have to do is put down the bread. 190 hours on Gold Rush. Go check out my farm sim stuff, and you'll see which farm sim I like the least. But you know what? I played enough of this game that I figure, you know what? I'm going to start streaming it. And honestly, I have to say that I am quite impressed with the development of this game. Um, 19? No, I think I have like 40 something hours on 19. My previous farming simulators were a lot better for hours. But I really enjoy games that have progression in it, like this, where you buy equipment, you get better things, and stuff like that, you know? Simulator type games with lots of progression rewards. So 15 was your favorite, 1800 hours. Oh yeah. Well, 19 we kind of dwindled out because we started doing a lot of Euro Truck. Or 17, I meant, dwindled out a little bit at the end there because that's 75 days. Yeah, don't forget though that I was only streaming Farming Sim after work, so a lot of that was like 5 hours here, 4 hours there kind of thing. Okay, we got one more bucket after this, and then we're gonna do a nice cleanup.
Bros, I don't have hammers. Leave me alone. Two guys wandering around my store looking for hammers, and I don't have any hammers.
Gotta get some hammers.
Apparently.
Borderless gaming is an application that allows you to run the game in full screen mode, but in borderless mode. So, like when I need to tab out of a game, it doesn't give me a, and it doesn't completely exit out the game, and then I have to re-enter the game. What it does is it allows me to just tab out to my other monitor, and it keeps the game on the other monitor running. It's a pretty nice app because most games that don't have full screen borderless mode that allow the mouse to come off the screen, it basically allows it to do that. Hey Silent, how's it going? The other game we play a lot is Farm Together. You see, most of my games that I play are based solely on cooperative play and whatnot. Terra was another one, and Black Desert is another game I spend quite a bit of time on. But not so much Black Desert anymore. I'm doing good. You coming in Discord today? We got one more bucket to do. This is how much I've gotten so far. We got one more bucket to do. I know I said last time before I ended the recording that we were going to do a clean out, but I found 2 more buckets, so we'll get these done quickly. Farm Together looks cool. Farm Together is cool because it's actually a really nice cooperative game and a nice relaxing farming game you can play together. Every month they do run different events and stuff like that. So, I mean, you get different unlockables and stuff like that that you get to keep, which is really nice. One game I started getting behind, which was really good for the time being, was Russian fishing. And as we started playing the game, we started realizing how much time you actually had to put into the game to actually get anywhere. Really cool concept for the fact that you could dig your own bait and whatnot, but it became really shitty when we found out that, you know, some people would take 2 to 3 months of gameplay just to save up for a new reel. Because as you go through the different lakes, you need bigger and better equipment to catch bigger and better fish. And so if you're catching bigger and better fish on your old stuff, you usually come across the problem of not being able to reel it in time, and thus your money versus everything else would go down the drain, kind of. And that made it really hard to really back the game, especially like when we were premium members. And to become a premium member, you had to basically get extra XP. It didn't really do anything that would benefit you over any other player than double XP, and 1 hour of the day you would get a higher fish count, it almost seemed like. But that only was for 1 hour of the day. The one bad thing about buying premium through that game is it didn't really explain to you what you were getting as in benefits, so you had to go to the forums to find out. And because it's a free-to-play game that's not so much play to win, the one thing that really made me upset about it was they said that they weren't basing their game that by being premium member or buying gold wouldn't give you a benefit over any other player, which is completely wrong, because if it takes, let's say, DJ Dan 2 months to buy a new reel, and I can use real money to buy gold and buy that reel within a day or two, of course I have the better advantage over the next person to me, because I've got equipment that they're not going to be able to afford for a couple of months. And that's what kind of really got me about that game. And when the developers said that gold people, if they spend gold, have no benefit over regular players, that's absolute crap. Because if I use real in-game money to buy a piece of equipment in that game, of course I'm going to have a benefit, because I'm going to be able to buy a reel that's better than someone else has and reel efficient faster. Thus, let's say I make 100 silver in the time it takes him to reel in one fish, where he's making only 50 silver. That's a big advantage. So, I mean, I just stopped playing the game because I just wasn't too impressed at all with the fact that they were saying it's not a pay-to-win game, and that buying gold gave you no benefit over any other player, which I find is an extremely false statement. And the fact that the moderators in that game are very, very sided with the game, and that if you say bad things about the game or whatever, they usually lock your posts on the forum or delete them. They like to delete a lot of comments if you're opinionated about the game. Which I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and if you don't like it, then maybe you just need to look into it more. Because there's a lot of true speakers out there about Russian fishing and it's, yeah, it is a very overpriced game. Like, for me to play a fishing game, I shouldn't have to play 2 to 3 months, 4 hours a day just to get a piece of equipment. Like, that's a little too much, I find. I mean, it's nice. There was a balance point they got to where you were consistently catching fish, and they were fish that you could easily reel in. With the occasional fish, every once in a while, that would give you a little bit of trouble. And then basically, they nerfed that, and you were just kind of sitting there, not really catching anything. And then you would note things like that, like after the restart, fish aren't behaving properly anymore. Fish aren't biting this certain type of bait anymore that they used to. They would turn around and tell you, well, it's not supposed to work that way, because the fish learn habits and whatnot. They migrate throughout the different maps and whatnot, and the different lakes, and they have different acquired tastes depending on how much they've been eating of something else. Which, you know, to me is fair, but I mean, when it starts interrupting on gameplay where you're not having fun anymore because you're not catching anything, and you know, you play all day and you catch 1 or 2, 3 fish, like, that's kind of a real life scenario, right? I could just go out and go fishing for real, but the main thing about Russian fishing that kind of caught my attention was the level up system, where you had to level up your different skills and harvest your own bait. You could make and craft your own baits and spoons, and you could cook for yourself, but you also had a hunger meter. I thought that was really cool. But for them to turn around and say that, well, you have to, you know, look at the weather and you've got to make sure the fish are biting, which is in real life, it's true. You don't just go fishing on any old day. You look if the weather's right for it, kind of thing. But the objective moderators on their forums were just so hard to state your opinion, because as soon as you said anything negative about their game that they needed to fix, or gave an opinion on how you felt about something, right away it was like they would delete your comments or whatever. And then their number one thing about rules for streamers was don't say anything negative about the game. Well, if I find a flaw in the game, I'm going to let people know because it's not right. And the reason why I stopped playing it was because, you know, the moderators were like, oh, you just don't know how to fish. You have to learn how to fish. And you should read up on our guides. But their problem is they've had so many updates in that game that their guides are no longer relevant to their updates, that it was all old stuff. And so when you referred to that and said, well, the guides are all out of date, well, the guides don't tell you how to catch the fish, right? Their response was the guides are just there to kind of give you an idea of what you should be doing. But there's no point in referencing the guide. Oh, and trying to report problems for the game was just a complete craptastic crap show, because basically they would turn around and they would make you fill out this massive survey before you would like be able to submit your problem, and then you'd have to attach this config file to it and basically state your problem. And a lot of times people were getting responses like, well, there's nothing wrong with the game, it's just you don't know how to fish. And that excuse and answer got really tiring to me, because it was like, as a developer, I don't think you should ever have to say that it's the customer's fault that something's not working. The other thing too is almost every week they have a server reset, and because the fish are habitual and they develop certain habits depending on weather, temperature, who's fishing where, what they're using, they'll develop their own habits. So let's say you're using red worms all the time to catch fish. Well, the next day you might log in and, well, they're not interested in red worms anymore because too many people are using red worms. So then you start using cheese, and cheese works for a bit. And then everyone figures that out, that everyone's using cheese because they're shouting it out in chat. Like, hey, cheese is working really good for this. And everyone starts using cheese, then they switch again. And then you got to figure out what they're biting on now, right? And then depths. The carp the carp had a huge learning curve to them, because sometimes you'd use boilies and you'd be catching them really good on like spicy pineapple, and then the next day they wouldn't bite that stuff at all. It's, you know, they'd go to something really weird like Tutti Frutti, and that wasn't even a specified flavor for the carp. So you kind of learn the game by talking to people in chat what the fish are actively munching on, right? I'll give Russian fishing, though, the credit for having a really cool fishing game, for the fact that you basically start off as a really crappy fisherman, with no skills, and you start upgrading your skills in spin fishing, bottom fishing, float fishing, and stuff like that. But you only have a limited amount of points that you can invest in these certain skills. So eventually it becomes that you have to make a decision whether you want to be better at a spin fisherman or if you want to be good as a bait fisherman kind of thing. And to reset your skill tree, it costs real money. They let you do it once for free, which they don't tell you. But then it costs 100 gold, which is about $5, I think, to reset your tree. And that's only one tree. Your tree is split into 4 parts. So about $20 to reset your entire skill tree if you had to. When they release major patch updates, they will allow you to respec your tree if they make changes to anything in it, but it's very far in between that they do that. Okay, we are ready for clean out. Let's get this clean out going. At Danji, we do have a Discord, but you have to be over 16, have 10 hours in Fox's stream, and have to be active a chatter. Well, Dan is definitely an active chatter, that's for sure. I forgot to start my timer. I don't even know how long I've been on here for, so... let's say 2:50. It is now 3 o'clock, so we've been doing this for about 10 minutes. Okay, let's start doing our clean out here. Oh, wait, we gotta turn our generator on first, I guess, eh? There it is. Wow, that's a good bucket right there, man. 59 ounces of magnetite. That is a really good bucket. That is a really good bucket. That is a real good bucket. I'm actually very surprised.
So, I think my first impression after 41 minutes played, I think there's some things that they need to work out, but I think that there's a lot of potential. It is way further along than Shopkeeper 2.
The question is it fun to play?
Yeah, I was having fun. Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Silent, how's it going?
Good.
Basically, the general gameplay loop is you buy shells. Actually, take it back. So it's you place the shelves down and stuff like that, and then when you want new ones of different varieties and sizes, you have to research them, which costs money. Once you research them, you have to buy them for money. And basically, it seems like right now, like 100% of the resource is money. And then basically when people walk in, they buy things for money, and you kind of have this gameplay loop of having enough storage to have enough variety for the people that come. That seems to be what it is right now. But again, I only played 41 minutes.
So are you kind of at like end game already, or is
No, I don't think so. No, there was still a lot more to unlock and
Oh,
level.
okay.
I just actually wanted to go and get a drink and maybe try some Darkest Dungeon now.
Nice. Okay, we got we're averaging about 65 ounces of magnetite on cleanout. This is amazing. That's a lot. $43. That's also very good.
How do you know how much magnetite your undermine has? And magnetite is another mineral that you can go sell.
Yeah, you basically store it in your inventory, and then you can use it to upgrade your blacksmith for speed, gold loss, how much you can smelt at a time, and how long it takes them to smelt it.
Oh.
But magnetite is the general hint of how much gold you have in your bucket when you do your cleanouts, because magnetite attaches itself to the gold because it's a magnetic sand, right?
Okay.
So usually if you get a really big magnetite, a bunch like extraction, you'll have a general idea of if your bucket's going to have a really good clean out. Like my first one, like that last one there had 56 ounces, and in the big pit on the tier 2 wash plant I was averaging about 65 ounces of magnetite per clean out, which was generating me about 8 ounces of gold per bucket. If that holds true to the hogwash area, then I should be getting some decent cleanouts here.
Is that a rubber tree you're standing next to?
It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't know many trees that sway like that down at the trunk.
I don't think we're supposed.
Dakota, you'd see that all the time.
I don't think we're supposed to look that far into it, but
That's just a normal thing up here with trees.
Oh, swaying around like that at the trunk?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know about that much. That thing's moving like 5 inches each way.
68 ounces, man. This is like way better than I was getting on my tier 3.
So what do you mean by that? Like when you say tier 3, you're on what, tier 2?
This is considered tier 1, the hogwash. The second one is the mobile wash plant, which you carry around on your truck and use the excavator on. That's considered your tier 2. Your tier 3 is your gigantic wash plant that you load up with like a dump truck or whatever, which is located just over here. It's the one you have to assemble piece by piece. So you got your shaker and your trommel and your runoffs with your jibs and your hogwashes at the bottom. And that's considered your tier 3. Once you start upgrading your tier 3, like getting better components like the nugginator instead of the jibs and the what do you call it? Upgrade your trommel and stuff like that, it starts becoming like tier 4 and then tier 5 as you upgrade the parts on it. So that's what they mean by tiers. So the higher the tier stuff, the more gold extraction you're going to get, and which is really not making sense, which makes me think that I was doing something completely wrong on my tier 3. I'm getting 78. That was 79 ounces of magnetite.
Holy
there.
shit.
I know. And if that continues on, I'm starting to think that I'm probably going to have about an 80 ounce clean out here.
Potentially, yeah.
This is nuts. $45. Okay, that's a bit normal. That's about 2 ounces in the bucket, I think. I don't know. I want to say it's about. It's looking more like it's going to be about 7 or 8% per. I was thinking it might be 10%, but 10% is too high because I don't think I'll get 6 ounces out of a bucket Maybe I will.
Okay, so just generally, because I haven't been paying attention much, but now I'm kind of curious. What's the general flow? So I saw you digging around with a fucking shovel earlier.
Uh-huh.
And then what were you doing with it after you dumped it into whatever you were taking it from the pit with?
I was putting it in the hogwash plant, which then gets washed down into the mats. And then those mats collect what's called a payout concentrate. And then basically what you do is you empty those mats into the bucket, and that becomes like your pay dirt. In your pay dirt, what you do... Yeah, pay dirt. So like your gold-rich dirt. So basically then what you do is the first part of extraction is you take it to the magnetite clean out, which separates the magnetite from the gold. And then from there you put it through the wave table, and the wave table is what collects all the gold that's in that pay dirt after the extraction.
And so okay, gotcha. Sorry, stream was a little delayed compared to what you're saying, and I was confused. It's like, oh, I thought you were using the thing for magnets, but now I got it.
No.
I follow now.
Yeah, the magnetite separator is what extracts the magnetite after it's gone through the filters and that. Like the collection pockets or filters, whatever you want to call them. Moss.
So right now you basically have two buckets underneath, one to collect magnetite, one to collect whatever washes separate from...
Right. So this first bucket that's here is that 18% is the magnetite concentrate. That stuff will be taken to the factory and then put into my inventory so I can upgrade my blacksmith.
Yeah. And those buckets that you're stacking on the left side are the washed dirt and gold, essentially.
Yeah,
and then you're going to put those in the wave table.
And the wave table will extract the gold. Yeah.
And then you'll end up with what? Just dirt and gold?
I'll just end up with gold and empty buckets. Because the gold physically doesn't really go anywhere, it just goes into your inventory.
Because what I think they should add is, on that wave table, it should give you dirt and then gold, and then you should be able to shit in the dirt bucket and sell it as fertilized soil.
And grow your own vegetables, and they can add a hunger meter.
Yes, Farming Simulator 2019, right here. This is how it starts.
Uh-huh.
Get that. You guys always wanted mining and farming sim.
Uh-huh.
This is it. Start a little crop. Start backfill that hole that you dug. Have it be a field.
I think KJ's on to something here.
Should I write the developers an email?
I think so. We'll have to get this started right away. We need poo dirt.
Next patch. Get on it.
From our latrine.
Oh, you tipped over a bucket.
That's okay. It stays in there.
Oh.
Don't really matter.
It's like a tip trigger, not a physics.
Yeah, it's basically a tip trigger. It stays in there. Think of it as a theoretical number in a bucket.
Yeah, I got it. Just like the trailers in Farming Sim.
Yep. Farming Sim is all theoretical.
It's quantum. It's a quantum game.
Yeah.
It's all just theories.
It is.
There's no actual real world physics.
The crops are a lie.
They are actually a lie.
You'll be amazed to know I did some reading up on my little break there on cattle and crops.
Yeah.
With their engine, they're allowed to have 255 slots for crop types.
It definitely is Captain Red Bear. All ones and zeros.
255. The engine will provide memory for 255 crop types. I can't even think of it. And the fertilization is like on other, basically in 15 and 17. Do you remember field management mod?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you'd have to watch the pH and the nitrogen levels within your crops. And you'd basically you'd have to manage how much nitrogen was in the field and how much of this and that was on the field, and you'd have to basically counter it. So If your nitrogen was high, you might need to add more water and phosphorus. They're adding that in cattle and crops. Your fertilizer types are going to be liquid manure, dry manure, liquid fertilizer, dry fertilizer, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and water. So you're going to have to manage the water tables on the field, the phosphorus you combat with nitrogen and potassium. It's insane. You're going to need to know chemistry to run these crops.
Well, it's much more real.
Mm-hmm. I'm just amazed that they're like going that in depth with it.
I mean, again, I really think that game is more likely to be the farming simulator game that we deserve. It just might take them longer to get there because they're a smaller team.
Uh-huh.
I just think it's going to be great.
Okay, we are in the next day. Now we're going to start washing out our dirt because it's a new day, and we're going to have a full. Cattle and Crops is the predecessor that is taking on Farming Sim. Not to mention that the majority of the developers that are on Masterbrain's crew are modders from Farm Sim. So basically, they're turning around and saying, well, Giants doesn't want to make their game how we want it made, so let's create a company that's going to make the game how we want the game to be made. And
let's be clear, it's not just random modders. They're some of the bigger, more extensive.
They're the modders that created Courseplay, Upside Down's GPS mod, Seasons mod, was the Real Terrain mod. Like every big, modder out there right now is working with this company. And I
Working
think
for them, not with them. They actually are employed by them.
There's a difference between making mods for Farm Sim and working for a team that's actually using those mods in the game now. So all the tractors in that are going to have their own GPS mod, their own GPS in-game. Like, the manual attaching mod that was in Farm Sim was pretty basic. You go to the manual attaching in Cattle and Crops, it's insane. You got to put this hose here, you got to put that hose there, you got to lower the back end lift and make sure that the trailer is in the right spot, lift the trailer up, link everything down. Like, there's going to be, like, manual attaching before gold was 276. Yeah, we're already at 12 ounces already here. I told you, I'm aiming for like an 80 ounce clean out here probably. I'm hoping to be close. We're at 17 ounces now.
It's gonna take a while. You got a lot of buckets.
Yeah. Everyone told me I was crazy for having so many buckets.
Till you come out with like 90 ounces of gold, like, ha ha ha, I win.
That'd be nice.
This is why you use more than 10 buckets.
I mean, this is how much left of the hogwash plant we've got. It's not a heck of a lot. It's about like a nail trimming. You want to trim your nails. That's the ideal pattern.
Yeah?
Nail Trimming 101 by Foxy.
Yeah, you definitely went further than I did.
29 ounces.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was all the way up there already.
30 ounces.
It's already
Well, like, how
28
much money
ounces.
will you get for 35-ish ounces or whatever you end up probably?
Multiply it by 100. Or 10, sorry. Or no, 100. So 30 ounces would be about $30,000. So yeah, multiply it by 100.
And how much does, like, an excavator cost?
105,000.
Because he wants the big excavator, not the little.
Oh, there's multiple
Yeah, there's a
excavators.
smaller excavator and there's a bigger one.
Hot.
We normally go for the bigger one by using the smaller one, but I want to see if it's possible just to jump straight to the bigger one.
So, do you have an infinite supply of buckets, or did you have to buy all those?
I had to buy them all.
Huh. Man, this game is really at the micro level of doing this, isn't it?
This is the micro level of it, yes. The next step
40 ounces.
The next step gets a little easier because you can hire a worker to swap your buckets out for you. So if you have a worker that works on your wash plant, you basically tell him just your job is to swap out the buckets when I need you to. And he'll wait till the bucket becomes 100% and put a new bucket out in there for you.
Is this game still on sale? Or did it go off sale already?
It was like 20% off a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if it's off. $50 ounces. That's $50,000. Now, the important thing to remember is that now that we have gold, the claim owner is going to turn around and go, gold. I'm going to take that from you. And you don't want him to do that. What you do is you always want him to take your raw stuff. But because we're starting at midnight on a new day, we can actually go cash this stuff in and just let him take cash from us. We'll have to do a little bit of calculations to make sure we don't spend too much money so he don't take all our money. Because we don't want to spend more than what he's going to take. 61 ounces.
It's not on sale anymore, KJ, but it's $20 right now.
For the amount of gameplay in this game, though, $20 isn't bad either. I was looking for the DLC for you, Silent, but apparently they don't sell codes for the DLC.
Yeah, you're up to 64 ounces. Jeez.
I said it's going to be close to 80 ounces, so I was right on that. Last bucket.
Well, a little bit it kind of depends on what they're giving for gold as well as to how much you'll get.
Yeah. 70 ounces.
Because sometimes the gold stock's quite high and then other times it's quite low. So
It depends on market. So, like, how much gold you're selling drops the market down. And then you gotta let the... I could technically go smelt all this down and turn it into bars and stack it in my tent. And leave it.
yeah, and wait.
71 ounces. So the important thing too here is you always want to disconnect all your stuff before you leave the claim, because sometimes it goes
Bears
wonky.
like to come.
It goes a little wonky, so.
And bears.
Oh my gosh, Zoe has gotten 5M now.
Oh god.
Alright, let's go to town. Now we're going to go smelt down our 70 ounces of gold. What's that?
Nothing.
On the way to the claim. On the way to sell our gold. And apparently my the hood trick you taught me didn't work anymore.
Weird.
Seems like the bar like glitches through the hood now.
Hmm.
Whoa. So we're gonna have to do 20, 40. I don't know what I just hit there. Apparently that piece of grass stopped me dead in my tracks.
Yeah. Apparently.
And this is where we're gonna spend the next 20 minutes standing here going, oh,
Yeah.
man. You know what? I did this wrong. We need to go buy a magnetite trailer, pick up that magnetite, and do the upgrades we can do first.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea.
Because if I can get my gold loss down, that gives me an extra ounce of gold.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can see. I think I'm gonna fucking really dig this Darkest Dungeon.
Really?
Yeah. This is like strategy to the max, and it's slow paced, and it's brutal, and it's dark.
Good. At least it wasn't a waste. Did you buy the expensive one?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll hook up to the magnetite trailer. We'll go pick up that little bit of magnetite at the claim. And then we'll come back and see what we can upgrade on our blacksmith first.
Oh, fuck you, Gabe. Very first treasure chest I come across after killing this boss enemy. It's trapped. It's booby trapped, and my guy gets poisoned from opening it.
Really? So it is a roguelike game?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
That sounds like that Tiny Tina DLC.
You can't just do a massive boss fight right at the beginning of the game. You gotta do character progression. Okay. So Mr. Happy Bony Pants or whatever his name was, which was totally a hit on Sans, by the way. Undertale, if you didn't notice. And then you had Rick and Morty, but it was Brick and Morty. Yeah, it was Brick and Morty, which was a hit on Rick and Morty.
Which was great.
Yeah, which was pretty funny. When I heard that Brick and Morty, I was like, no way, and I had to like reference back to when Rick and Morty was out. I'm like, okay, yeah, this was around the same time as the DLC, so obviously that was a hit.
We still have to do Sir Hammerlock's DLC as well.
Oh, the animal
Big game hunt tool.
Yeah, the big game hunt. I did it in single player. It's not too bad. Okay,
The Tiny Tina one will always be the best.
Oh man, Butt Stallion!
It was even better than Torg.
Yeah. Blow up the blimps! But the blimps are their only defense. Why would you do that? Just blow them up! Okay, well, now that we've destroyed their, what was it? Now that we've destroyed their defenses, the town is like...
Their air defenses.
Their air defenses. Now the town is like, you know, defenseless. But it was awesome!
Okay, Mr. Torg is out of the game now.
Oh, it was awesome! That guy's so great. Especially the ones where you go trying to steal the chocolate chip cookies from his arena and find out they're raisin, and she gets mad, just destroy everything.
Wait, those weren't chocolate chip cookies.
Those are raisin. Oh.
Hey Fox, you forgot to drop off your magnetite.
I know. I was just,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
And you know what's funny is I passed the magnetite thing and I was still looking for it. Until you said it. I'm like, I passed it. What am I doing? We got this. We got this. Oh, why are we out of control here? Trash on. I just was making sure that you guys are all paying attention. That's all.
Yeah, you definitely were. I think your traction control got turned off for a split second there, Fox.
Yeah, it yells at you when you try to use your differentials on the pavement.
Jesus. The narrator of this game is fucking amazing.
Oh.
I clicked on the graveyard, and he goes, most will end up here, covered in this poisoned earth, awaiting oblivion.
You know what I'm almost tempted to get if you've ever played the series, The Bard's Tale? They came out with one that's like a first-person action dungeon crawler, but it's like all the elements of like the Bard's Tale series. Like it's full of comedy and just dark humor. And
Never even heard of the Bard's Tale.
No, it's a really funny series. The second game was like Diablo, where it was a top down, and then basically you go to the tavern and the tavern lady's like, "Oh, I can give you ale, but why are you skidding all around like that? Stop that truck." And basically they're like, "You must go to the dungeon and kill the rats." And then the bard kind of looks at the camera and is like, "Why is it always rats? Why is it always a dark, damp cellar you have to go down and kill rats? Well, let's go do it." So you go downstairs and the narrator starts talking, and he's like, the narrator starts talking about what you have to do and stuff like that. Okay, something's wrong with my keyboard, I guess. I don't know. And the narrator starts talking about how to look around, you use the right thumbstick. And the bard's like, yes. And he's like, to make sure that you're going this way and that way, blah, 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 I got to do this. To attack, repeatedly hit the X button. And then the bard looks around and goes, "I don't know who's talking. I don't know what you're talking about, this X button, but I don't know why I would have to press it to attack. Why wouldn't I just put my arm out like this and attack," right? And he starts attacking like the air, and he's like, "No, you didn't press the X button. You can't do that until the X button is pressed." And he's like, "I can do what I want. I'm the bard." And he starts like arguing with the narrator. It's like super funny.
Huh. I've never heard of this, but that sounds pretty clever way to design game dialogue.
Oh yeah, they break the fourth wall all the time in that game, especially the Mike quest. You go looking for Mike the magician, and you go to a town, and everybody's name is Mike except for the females. And you're like, "Oh, I'm looking for Mike," and they're like, "Oh, Mike, yeah, I'm Mike." And then so you start talking to him, and he's like, "No, I don't think you're talking to the right Mike. Go talk to Mike down the street," and you go talk to the other Mike down the street, and he's like, "No, you're talking about my brother Mike. Go see him," and it ends up that they take you in this big circle around town back to the original Mike, and he's like, "Oh, maybe you were talking to me. Yes, okay, that sounds familiar." And so you spend like 10 minutes talking to all these Mike guys just to figure out that the first guy you were talking to was the right guy. It was so funny. And then at the end of the game, you get an option to either help the Lord of Darkness take over the world, or you can kill her, or you can just not do anything. And there's like 3 outcomes of the ending, which are all cinematic, right? And it's just like, it's brilliant how they made the game. Okay. Now we're gonna smelt down our stuff. We bought the upgrade for, I don't know what we bought the upgrade for. Upgrade, cost. We bought cost. Oh look, we can sell our magnetite for an additional $1,700. No, we're not going to do that. So it's going to cost us less to smelt the gold. Now we just got to wait. Well, I guess I could do something while we're waiting. Huh.
Yeah, you didn't have enough for gold wasp yet.
Yeah, I need 2,000. So now I have 234 ounces of magnetite in my inventory. I'm still never gonna get up there. Oh god, I'm stuck. Boop 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 boop. Ow. So, Captain Redbeard, are you playing this game as well? Yarr. Okay, I'm starting to get hot in here. I don't know if I have to open a window or what. It's like super. Oh.
Pick up your shiny golden bar.
Oh, I missed. Or did I miss? I'm stuck on the trailer. No, I got it in. Woo! What did I upgrade? Cost. Right. Less money, better times. Wait, what? Oh. Okay, I was like, why is that barrel glowing? Okay, ow. We're gonna do some parkour. Parkour! Ah! I think I just, like, split my nuts in two.
Oh, that's definitely what it looked like. I'll be back.
Okay. Whoa, yeah! Wait. Would you get in there? And gold bars are like the most impossible things to get in your truck. So we're just gonna spin in circles, spin in circles, spin in circles. Can you imagine a guy waiting outside the blacksmith just spinning in circles? I'd be kind of concerned, like, what the hell has this guy been doing? What magnetite has he been smoking? It's essentially like 20 seconds per minute in this game. So we should be done this one right away, right now. My question. They use it in washing coal? Really? They use magnetite for washing coal? Interesting. Does that like extract the metallic metallic off the coal or something? Metal? Because it's magnetite, isn't it? Magnetic rock? Yeah, it pulls out the impurities and sinks to the bottom of the wash basin. That's really cool. I did not know that. That is super interessante. Alright, let's do this. Let's go Sell, sell, sell. This really sucks that I have the magnetite trailer with me because I'm gonna have to buy the wash plant. I'm gonna have to hook up to it. Okay, so 91,000. Let's do little calculations here. So we got, we'll say 92,000 on the high side. We'll multiply that by 0.3. So they're going to take 27,000 of that money. So, what did I say? 27,000, right? So, 92 minus 27. We have 65,000 to spend. Backing up trailers is my expertise. Do not enter. Okay. We'll just park my trailer right here. So we can do that. Here we go. So, we're going to need one of these mobile wash plants. Yes. And then we're going to need one of these. And I think it's the blue cable I need, right? We're gonna need one of those. We're gonna need one of these. We're gonna need one of these. Very good. And then we're gonna need one of these. I think that's going to be it. That's 19,000. Okay. So let's make sure we got everything we need here. We're gonna need this. We're definitely gonna need the splitter because that's gonna split off to that, and that's gonna convert that into the green hose. So that's what we're gonna need there. Wait a minute. We're missing some stuff here. Where's my blue cable? Okay, that's kind of weird. I thought I bought it. I guess I didn't. Need one of those. And then, what else did I need? One of these. And then we will need, where's the working lamp? Is it back here now? Uh-huh. We'll need one of those. And then I think I bought one of those, didn't I? High voltage, low voltage, and work light order. Okay. No longer will we have to work in the dark. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay, we're gonna have to fix that somehow. Can you possibly, like, lay down, maybe? Alright, perfect. Can you plug it in and turn it on while driving? Maybe. We're gonna get this one. Don't worry, Fox will stall out even the simplest of things. Okay, so we're gonna take this back. We'll get this starting to be. We'll start the filling of this, and then we'll come back out, and hopefully it won't break our game, because last time we had to save the game and relaunch the game because leaving the claim apparently. Oh, fuel is low. Excellent. Now, last time I did this, I had the front left tire blow out, changed that, and then the front right tire blew out. So if anything happens, that's what's going to happen. Chaser, how's it going, man? Brr. I got stuck in a wall in front tow hooks. Blew out from. Well, I had my truck glitch out the other day. It was weird. I was backing up to my trailer, and also my truck like tipped over, and my truck tipped over and started freaking out all over the place. Then my truck turned around. Every time you go to grab this stupid pump from the one side, every time you grab the pump from the one side, it always falls around. Good, relaxing. Good to hear. That was quick. Fill that up. I've sent buckets to orbits before. Well, that's okay. One day I was playing, just minding my own business and, you know, doing all that fun stuff. And so I decided that I was going to disconnect the cable and let it kind of sit there. So I did so and figured that it was good enough, and lo and behold, the cable just decided to act like a snake and swim off into space. Let's get this thing started up here. The other thing too is the what do you call it? The bear that attacks the claim every once in a while apparently attacked a cable that was just laying there minding its own business, just really doing nothing. And the bear just decided that, you know, we're gonna totally screw over your cable here, and yeah. I wasn't too impressed because that was one of my favorite cables. Not really. Ah! I don't know what it is with this hill. All the time. Just got here, but what is the trailer you have there? This is a mobile water tank. See, this is the one thing that bothers me about this game, is this hitch is lined up perfectly. There's nothing attached to it, nothing at all, and yet the game doesn't register it and say, well, that's okay to attach. So if I take the hitch away, then it says, oh yeah, you can attach that. So this is all filled up. Let's bring this over. Let's get this all fueled up. One thing this game, see, you can't grab it from that side. I don't know why. And after a while, these indicators will disappear on here. Weren't holding your tongue right? Okay, good. So that one's filled up. Let's take this out where we're going to start digging. Because traditionally, I would start digging in the back left side. But this spot over here that I'm going to usually seems to generate the most gold. Now, it could be different this time. But in all my playthroughs, I've seemed to have always really good luck just along this area here. Can you stop that? So right in this area here, if you start digging with the mobile wash plant and that, so I get the wash plant set down around here, and then I'll start digging from up here and then working my way back towards this way up into this rock face here, but the third tree here in line with this, and then down. So this entire section right around here in this little dip, and then start working your way towards that way. And about align with the crosshairs coming in here. And basically this big dipped area in here I find is sometimes the best area to start digging in, because when you start drilling in here, you're getting about mid-range area gold, about 300,000. So we'll start in there. And they're like, but Fox, how do you know? You haven't even drilled yet. Well, I've played this game enough to know that I've drilled enough times in standard games, unless they've really changed up the randomization of the gold, that it may be different. But so far it has not been. So we're going to let that water tank there fill up until we get back. We got to go pick up the mobile wash plant and then go take a look. I have a feeling we're going to be starting with the small excavator anyways, because 70,000 is not enough. I could take out a loan. I would need a loan to cover my expenses of 29,000. So I think we're better off just getting the small excavator for now, and yeah, we'll have to go with the small excavator for now. It won't take long until we get a bonus gold that we can hop right out and start getting some good stuff again.
I'm back.
Welcome back. So now I have tried and cheated a little bit, and I tried to get my magnetite trailer to reset to my claim before. It does not work because there is a reset point within town which they like to use, and that kind of sucks because, well, then you can't reset it back to your claim. You still have to come by and pick it up because I figured, hey, why waste a trip and I'll just reset it. But I guess that prevents you from buying stuff and just turning around and resetting it to your claim. Okay, let's take a trip down here, and I guess we'll have to pick up this excavator here. I really would like to pick up the bigger one, but it's 107,000, so I think we'll have to work up to it. So this here, oh man, it's already 120,000.
How long did it take you? Sorry, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
How long did it take you to get all those buckets that you just did?
How long?
Yeah, because wasn't that like something like 45,000? If you do one more of those, won't that get you enough to get that?
I don't know if I have enough dirt. I could try. Should we go and try for it and try to get the big one? Because they're going to take out 29,000, which is going to leave me at, let's say 30,000, about 40,000. I don't know if there's 40,000 of dirt left. You know what? Let's try it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I just get more money, right? Let's do it. We'll go place this where this is supposed to be. And then we'll put out our little work lady thing here. We'll let that secondary trailer fill. That way we have one on reserve. We'll try to get to that big one. It's going to be 114,000. Let's try off all our buckets and see if we can get it. Because you know what? There's supposed to be 40,000 bonus nuggets. There's actually supposed to be 100 ounces in that hog pan area, so why not? Let's empty it. Oy, this thing is making me snake. Stop it. Because you know what? I'd rather the money come out before I start wasting a whole crap load of money on this big equipment. So maybe if we do that, I'd rather have the money that I have permanently than Olian.
What is that thing you're pulling behind you?
This is the mobile wash plant. This is the wash plant we're going to take out into the big pit area, and we're going to start using the excavator to fill it up. My texts fly through the screen. Amazing. I know, isn't it? Well, we're going to set this down right here. Because, you know, I'm so original and I always start in different places. So that's going to stay there. This is going to stay out here. This is...
Isn't that how it works though? If they only see it, like the viewers, not you, right?
Yeah, no, viewers only see it.
Like that.
We'll wrap up our hose here, make it look a little neat. And whatever, it's drifting through the wheel, I don't care. Okay, so that's gonna be for that. This big hose here is gonna go on an output. It's gonna go on an output to here. And then, no, I don't need you. This splitter here. It's gonna go to there. And then from this splitter, we're gonna go into here. Now, as long as we don't turn on anything, it should be okay. It shouldn't wear down, although there is the possibility of a bear attacking it. Okay, and just for kicks, let's clean out the rest of the hog pan area. Because you know what, if we could get an extra like $30,000 out of there, 40,000 maybe, I don't know, maybe we can do it. We're gonna tighten up this here. Do you love this game? I certainly do. It's very fun. Okay, that's settling down. Okay, so this one's
Fox
being
is also now.
yeah, this one's yeah. I'm a wet. Okay, so we don't have much dirt left in this area. We might as well clean the rest of it out. This might generate us another, it's hard to say, maybe 10, 15 ounces. Is that...
I just looked at.
What?
Go ahead.
Is that Big Giggity Panda? What? I have no idea who that is.
I just looked at how many hours you have on record.
Uh-huh.
A lot.
Jiggly Panda? I have no idea who Jiggly Panda is.
Big Jiggly Panda.
When are they gonna implement multiplayer in this game? One of the
Anyway, you
most
have
asked questions. Apparently you don't read the
199.
forums enough. Multiplayer is not coming to this game. I'm sorry to break all the hearts of those who keep asking the same question over and over again. And I'm going to be 100% honest about that because me, myself, I'm getting tired of hearing it as well because I used to ask that question every day as well. They are not implementing multiplayer and they are very sorry for that because they intended this to be a single-player game. Unfortunately, that is a direct statement from the developer. And as much as everybody wants multiplayer in this game, and I know it would be completely amazing because I've had streams and I've dreamed of this game being multiplayer because I can just imagine my guys on a dedicated server playing on this game. We'd be like 10 times worse than the Hoffman crew, but yet we would be the best thing since toast and jam out there. You know, trust me. I foresee how amazing this game would be. And every night I go to bed from playing this game, I dream of multiplayer because as much as I'd like taking this shovel and smashing someone in front of the in their face because they did something wrong or broke a piece of machinery, I think that would be great. My standpoint, I don't know how. I don't know how they came up with this game, and I'm not bashing Code Horizon at all. Don't take it that way. But I'm not really sure how they sat down at that boardroom, and I've talked about this before. So my envisionment of them sitting down at the boardroom went something like this. Alright guys, so we're going to make a game today. What's something really popular that we can get our fans... Well, they don't have fans yet because they haven't made anything. So what can we get people focused on? Something that would be different from all the other games out there. And so one guy puts up his hand and goes, "Oh, I know. Let's make a game where people can dig up treasure." And the one guy's like, "Well, that's kind of a start. Yeah, I like the digging aspect. Let's go with that." Okay, so what do people... You know what? People dig up gold. People dig up gold. And they said... let's make a game where people... Wait, you know people really gold mine, right? Let's make a game where people mine for gold, and we'll call it Gold Miner. That's a great idea. We'll call it Gold Miner. I like that idea. All right, let's start the production boards. And then the one guy says, "Do you think we should make it multiplayer?" And the guy's like, "Nah, No, you know what? That's too complex.
No.
We're only 6 guys. We can't make it multiplayer. That's just way too much work for us to do. And they sat down and they were like, well, pros and cons of this game. If it was multiplayer, I think it would be a hit. Yeah, but you know what? If we kind of give them a little sample of the game first and they really like it, then we could talk about doing multiplayer. But, you know, now 9 months down the road, we're so far into the game that it's impossible to go back and recode only the little things that they had. My point is how did they come across thinking of a game like this where it wasn't multiplayer? All of us watched Gold Rush. We all know that it is not possible for Dave Turn to run a complete site. Wait, no, he did. Dave Turn did run a site completely by himself because he was working with Todd. Right. Okay, so the Dakota Boys were 2 guys. So you kind of think co-op. I'm following you because your commentary is fucking hilarious. It's
truthful. That's the sad part about it.
Like, the one comment I added on Gold Rush on the Discord one day was, how did you come up with this concept of a game without thinking about multiplayer? You know, I mean, I understand they kind of tried to fix the problem by turning around and taking AI and saying, well, you can hire this worker to run this, and it's going to help you with the efficiency and stuff like that, and they'll change up the mats. That's helpful. I totally agree, and I think it's great that they implemented the fact that workers actually do something other than generate gold. But, Forward Guy Mike, thank you very much for the follow. But, you know, they did try to help out, and the closest we're going to get to multiplayer in this game is leaderboards. I mean, I've been playing this game 127 hours, and I'm going to show you my progress on the leaderboards from a real person's. I just went down 2 spots, and I didn't even do anything but tell you guys about the leaderboards. So, anyways, top person here, 24,000 since the updates came out 2 weeks ago. I'm at 479. This number here is based on a person that goes to work, comes home, plays for 4 to 5 hours in the evening, goes to bed, goes back to work, and on the weekends I play from 10 o'clock till about 1, 2 in the morning. This is with 3 restarts because I keep screwing it up because I just don't learn from my mistakes. So that's why I stream it, so people can yell at me and say, dude, you fuck it up, and I go, shut up, I know what I'm doing, and then 2 days later I'm like, well, I've got to restart because I fucked up. And then that person's like, I told you so. And I'm like, yeah, well, I made a mistake, so I'll just live with it, right? Essentially in this game, and I mean, you can play this game for 18 to 20 hours a day and be on the top of the leaderboard if you want. But, if you haven't played this game and got a good routine down and are like me and you're trying to figure it out, talk to people and find out what the best way to do is. Because I take advice like a mule being dragged to a watering hole. I'm just not going to drink if I don't feel it's necessary. So, like me, I don't take advice unless I think I really need it, and in this game I should have taken the advice I was given, and I was like, nah man, I got it figured out. I know how to do this. As I'm flipping my car down the highway 360 miles an hour. I got this. So, what I take from this game, where did you find the leaderboards at? You have to be playing under leaderboard mode, which is a difficulty based on normal revision. You select leaderboards and you hit tab, and when you find tab, it's right beside DigTube here. And you get to see all the people up top here who just basically play this game non-stop and never sleep. And then you can see the real people down here that have been in... Like, I've been by Spartacus here forever. I don't think he's ever left me.
No, I don't think so.
You should just friend him on Steam. Be like, hey, want to play multiplayer with me?
It's like for all the farming sim fans out there, when's John Deere gonna come to farming sim? It's just a question that's been answered repeatedly over and over again, and finally it's been answered, and John Deere is in farming sim. So now all those guys with John Deere have nothing left to say about farming sim, and the forums are all dead because nobody can ask that question anymore.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, thank God they finally added John Deere, because before that game was shit, and now it's amazing.
Yes, I know. John Deere topped off is like the cherry on top. Like
It is. It's the
without
crown jewel.
Yeah, I mean, I have to thank John Deere so much for being part of Farming Simulator and making it the biggest piles of steaming rolled oats, I guess, coming from the ass of a horse. if you catch my drift. Basically,
I guess.
steaming pile of shit.
Steaming pile of unloaded solid manure
Yep,
or slurry.
slurry. Yep, that's only if
The
they've
biggest
had-
cup of slurry you could make.
Yes, I'm bitter about the way FS19 is, and I'm bitter about the way that Giants is treating their game. And for all the newcomers that have played Farm Sim, that's your opinion, and I'm going to tell you where to put it. Because
then that's our opinion.
well, that's the thing. In society today, everyone's got their own opinion, but I don't want to fucking hear it. Right? It's like one of the biggest things on internet lately is that I don't think a lot of people care for voicing their own opinions. I think they're more concerned with how it affects someone else, so they'll just say it intentionally just to piss them off. I'm gonna scrape the living crap out of this because I'm gonna get that big excavator.
I'll be right back.
And I have made 4 episodes of this, of me just digging this out. And by George, I'm gonna get somewhere. I'm gonna be somebody one day.
Even if it's just better than Todd Hoffman, it's somebody.
Yeah, I'm like the Todd Hoffman of Twitch. Hold on, wait, no, I'm doing this wrong. Okay, hold on a sec.
Fox, did you pray today?
Dear Lord, up in the sky, please make this land full of gold so that we can provide for our families. And Discovery Show, because they're paying for this shit. And please make sure that we have gold and everybody put their hard hats together. And all right, we're good to go. Boom! Oh, something broke down. Sorry. It's basically the way it happens, right? They do their little hoorah, they start going, and then something broke down. Now, the one disagreement I think about the show is yeah, Todd's kind of made to be the tomfoolery of the show, but realistically, it's Discovery that's putting the show together. So, is Todd really that bad? Is Discovery putting their foot in his mouth saying these are the decisions you're going to make? Does he agree with them? Because, I mean, in the first 2 seasons, there were interviews with guys that did leave the show. That said, there was a lot of crap going on that they didn't agree with, like intentional breakdowns and intentional instigations of fights and stuff like that, where, you know, Discovery was setting stuff up to be more dramatic. Because, I mean, you're watching a show like that, you want to see shit go wrong, and you hope to God that something goes wrong because you want to prove your point, right? Not everyone wants somebody to win. And there is a lot of instigation, I'm sure, in that show. But maybe Todd wasn't so bad as they made him look to be, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I kind of disagreed with Todd, and I'll say it again, is the fact that Dave Turn would do a lot of work. A lot of good work for Todd. But Todd would turn around and he would take that for granted and basically, well, we figured out the problem, we got everything working again, you know, thankfully I came up with this great idea and now we're profitable. And it's just not the way it worked. Like, come out and say, like, Dave Turn came out and fixed this for us. We're gonna be cheap here and we're gonna dig up below the mesh. Oh, and by the way, to anyone that thinks that that doing this is cheating. It is not. I've explained it several times why this happens this way. You will run out of dirt. It's just because the mesh below the ground is slightly lower, so there's actually pay dirt below it. It's just not visible because it kind of sunk through. But if you dig in the one spot, you do run out of dirt. But don't think it's an infinite supply of dirt down there. But you know what? Multiplayer would be a huge asset to this game. And take it from me, I played a lot of co-op multiplayer games. I've run several servers. This game would be phenomenal if it did have multiplayer. And I don't care what all the top streamers say of this game and all the top YouTubers. Absolutely they should go for multiplayer if they could. I mean, they've made games multiplayer that weren't even intended to be multiplayer. Look at American Truck Sim. Look at Euro Truck Sim. Those games were never meant to be multiplayer, and where they are right now. And I mean, Code Horizon has an agenda, and they said they want to get that agenda done. That's their plan. And I think they've done really good so far for being a 6-man team. But once the game is done, I don't know if it's possible for them to make it a modded game or not. I don't know if that would involve anything or if that would just be releasing the source code for the game. If they did make this game multiplayer, if modders could figure it out, I think that would be absolutely amazing. The value and, like, I really don't know what to say. The amount of viewership that would come from this game by watching teams work together on this game, I think would benefit this game in ways that single player could never really touch on. I think it would show a drastic improvement of efficiency throughout the entire game. Creative ideas would come up. And general things. The problem where this game stands right now is once you've dug, I don't know if this game is smart enough that if I do something like this, right? If I dig this dirt here and I come up here and I say, well, I'm going to put it right here. Okay, so now it's right there. Now, is the same amount of gold that I dug out in that shovel, is it now in this location, or does it now reset to what this square hitbox is? You know what I mean? So, let's say, for instance, we were digging a claim, and I had one person moving dirt from one side of the claim to the other. Is that dirt that's being moved going to have the same consistent gold in it than if we were just digging it in one place? Like, is the gold static or does it move to where you push it? That's one question you have to consider if they did make it multiplayer. Because if gold differentiated depending on where its location was, then moving dirt could severely hinder how your claim is run, right? You would never be able to relocate dirt or move a bigger pile somewhere else, or, you know. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm uploading these to YouTube here, so I'm going to take this a little break here. I'm going to end the video here so that the video stops recording. And I will be back in, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes. If you guys wish to join me, you're more than welcome. And I will be back in, give me about 10 to 15. I'll remain in Discord.